Good evening, everyone, and welcome back once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I am your host, your YouTube messiah, and often imitated, never duplicated backyard superstar Tim Vicious. And folks, we are on episode 99. We are on the last of the double digits here. This is a P. I ain't make this. This isn't no adult reference here, folks, so get your minds out the gutters. I ain't making no adult innuendos yet. But we are on the verge of going into the triple digits. Next week, set your calendars. January 6, 2015, Vicious Rants hits 100. Now, before I go into the details on this week's show, again, I have to reiterate, Nick Meltzer McGee at PW Smart Talk. Nick, you have been doing nothing but harassing me and anyone and everyone I know that I associate with. That does not roll with me, son. You are on the very, and I emphasize very, last nerve. Watch yourself. You better watch yourself, boy. Because I already told you, you keep pushing my buttons, I'm going to put a beating on you that's going to make that Ferguson riot look like child's play. You really do not know on who you're messing with here. I grew up knowing two things. Knowing on how to fight and knowing on how to survive. And boy, trust me, I can do both. Without even blinking an eye. You really don't want to cross paths with me. So, now that I've done having to give out the friendly little public service announcement to make sure a certain douchebag stays away from my studio and show, let's talk about this week's Raw. This week's Raw, my client and myself, we did allow a guest general manager for the evening, two, as a matter of fact. And of course, talking about quite possibly one of the greatest tag teams of the 90s, Edge and Christian. And I say the 90s because, coming as a tag team guy, hands down, you'll never be able to convince me otherwise. The best tag team in the history of pro wrestling. Road Warriors. Some people want to say Edge and Christian were the best tag team of all time. Go ahead. Go ahead. That's your opinion. You're entitled to it. But you know what? Road Warriors. They set the bar. They were the very first tag team to win major titles in every promotion they ever stepped foot in. All Edge and Christian did was just win the WWE tag titles multiple times. Not making a knock, I'm just saying. You want to look at the facts, you look at that. But anyways, Edge and Christian, our guest host in Raw tonight. They started out Raw with showing the clip of when Edge had to give his retirement speech, and I'm not gonna lie, folks, I got teary-eyed. It's something, yeah. Especially seeing as on how I had to give a speech, something along those lines, a few years ago also. It's hard, and yeah. But Edge and Christian came out. Always love when they have the mics. They're always great on the mic and have great chemistry, hands down, no matter what. And they could just do it. They could just make the show, no problem. They can make the show, make the segment. They absolutely do it phenomenally. They're talking about, so they come out, and they're talking about, and yeah, talking about on how matches that they booked Ziggler versus, or they booked Ziggler versus Rusev, and they were gonna have, and they were gonna have Reigns versus Rollins, and yeah, next thing you know, cue the lights and cue the music. Who else but my savior, Paul E. Dangerously, Paul Heyman himself, and I keep on saying this all the time. Paul is God. And the man is a wrestling Mozart. In my eyes, Paul Heyman can never do any wrong. Because, the man has such a keen mind for the business, nobody can touch him. But he comes out and he brings out the beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar. And Brock, he just straight up stares down Edge and Christian, and they both just have that look of, like 10 pounds of shit just came out of them. And, and wound up finding out Christian was forced to retire due to concussion issues. So, that's sad to see, because I always liked Christian. I always wanted to see him in more of a main event spot. It's sad that he never got it, but in all honesty, if he's not going to be if he's not going to be working in, if he's not going to be competing now, best thing I say they should have him do then is, have him work at the Performance Center, have him work as a trainer. Because he can help build the new generation. He can help build the next generation that's going to be in NXT within the next 6 months. Because I guarantee, and after NXT R Evolution, that was saying that era that was there is now getting ready is gonna get ready to come up front and be on the main roster. So once that NXT roster moves up, you're gonna have to bring the next generation in, and Christian can wind up working with them. But they bring out Brock Lesnar. He stares them down, and then of course, out comes Cuck Fina. John Cena. I'm gonna get this murmur thing taken care of, but out comes Cena. Next thing you know, and Brock, he just sits in the corner like, okay, what do you got to say to me, bitch? And then he just looks like, and then he goes to grab Paul Heyman, which, goes to hit Heyman, which doesn't seem very babyface-ish, attacking a manager, an unarmed, defenseless advocate. That really seems like something a babyface should do. But yeah, he goes, does that, next thing you know, just as he's got his fist cocked back to go and hit Paul, excuse me, Brock comes over, grabs him, and then Cena hoists him up. They go and hit an AA. Brock pulls down, and then just crawls out the ring and walks away. Beautiful textbook heel 101 thing. That was beautiful heel psychology. You don't have to fight unless you have to, and it just, because it still makes him look good and strong on that kind of a sense. So, yeah. That was the end of the first segment. I absolutely love that. So, now we get the next segment. We get Ziggler versus Rusev. That was a good match. It was probably hands down Rusev's best match to date. And, well, also you think about it, all squash matches aside, pretty much every big name match Rusev has been with big guys, and I may be a little biased here, but you watch this show enough, on how I feel when you have matches with two big guys in there, two big guys, yeah, it don't feel right. Too big, too clunky, too wonky. You're just like, ugh, what the frick kind of shit is this? No, no, it don't feel right. But yeah, this it did. You know, Ziggler, he was using a lot of his speed with that. Really worked good to Rusev's size advantage with that. Absolutely loved it. They don't want to say that they meshed real well, but they did put on a good match, which I absolutely loved. You know, I was really hoping that Rusev was gonna, or not Rusev, Ziggler was gonna get a win. You know, threw out a good super kick on him, went to go and hit the accolade, or not the accolade, yeah, get my words all jacked up. Fuck! Wound up, went to go hit the zigzag, didn't get it. Rusev had Ziggler in a corner, started stomping a mud hole in him. Next thing you know, didn't stop when the ref got the 5, so the ref called for the bell. So Ziggler technically wins by DQ, but, you know, they're playing it now saying that he's still undefeated. And technically, in a sense, Rusev still is because he still hasn't gotten a pinfall or a submission. You know, after that, he wound up leeching Ziggler over the ropes. And then, boom, locked in the accolade, had that. Took 4 or 5 refs to get him off. And then next thing you know, oh, joy of joys. Rytard came out. He came out, got him away, and then he cut this promo on how, you know, he's staying positive and taking all the negative crap fans say about him and just eating it and all that. And you know what? That's all well and good. You know what? I heard that same kind of bullshit before. Don't mean no different, Skippy. I seen what you did in Pittsburgh. You know what? That was just straight up cold what you did to that kid. That wasn't cool. You wound up seriously. I say all the time, I show respect to everyone that walks in that ring because they're putting their life in someone else's hands for my entertainment. You, on the other hand, Skippy, you don't get my respect on that. You don't get my respect for walking through those ropes doing that. Because you completely decided to ignore a small little boy who was mentally and physically challenged to go and try and hit on some 20-year-old chick who had knockers the size of your head. That ain't cool, man. No. I don't care if you're a heel or a face. Especially if you're a heel. You know, you can have frickin' Dudley Boy Heat from ECW, from the original ECW days. It don't matter. You got 3 or 4 people that are still cheering for you no matter what. You acknowledge those fans and you show your appreciation to them and you stroke their ego by making them feel good and saying that they're the smart ones that are cheering for you. That's on what you should do. Instead, no. I could go on about this all damn day. I ain't gonna though. So, next up, it's damn ST Diva segment. And, what the fuck? 5-minute ST Diva segment. You know, not even enough time to go and get a shot of penicillin or use it as an excuse to go and hit the bathroom. Ugh, yeah. Had Natalya versus Nikki Bella, but yeah, now that I think about it though, lately, getting a lot more ST Divas matches. Tyson Kidd's appearing on TV. Could it possibly be? Why, yes, it is that time of year again. Gadzooks! That means, oh shit, that means they're gonna have more Total Divas. Oh, what the fuck. Anyways, Nikki wound up winning the match. She wound up doing the rack attack. And, you know, here's the thing that got me with that match. They talked about on how she had a career-threatening shin injury some time ago, and yet her finisher winds up forcing her to drop down onto her knees. And she don't wear knee pads or nothing. And parents, if you're letting kids watch, put the earmuffs in, because now this is the inappropriate joke. Which, you would think she would wear knee pads, considering on how much dick she probably sucked. Now you can take them out. And yeah. But yeah, it don't seem right having that as a finisher. Having that kind of a finisher. You know? Considering you had that kind of an injury. I don't know, that's just me though. My brain thinks weird. But yeah, next matchup, it was a tag team title match, Miz and Mizdow versus the Usos. And yeah, I absolutely love this match. I loved it. You know, we need to get more solid tag team matches like this on the show on a regular basis. You know, and I've brought this up before countless times. If not on here, then on shows I have done guest spots on. The actual art of being in a tag team, you know, it's becoming a dying art. You know, you don't see that many actual legit tag teams anymore. You'll see people that work good as tag teams, but not actual tag teams. You know, and it's kind of sad. Because, again, I'm speaking as a tag team guy, but there is an art to it, and it's sad. Because that was one of the greatest draws for wrestling as well as WWE during the 90s and the Attitude Era, and even at certain points during, you know, after the Attitude Era, when they had the brand extensions. You know, you had certain teams that really did mesh well, but I don't get it. It's like nobody wants to really try and do tag teaming anymore. But yeah, title match, Miz and Mizdow versus the Usos. It's the best parts of this match, honestly, and I say this every time, Mizdow, no matter what, Mizdow just equals money. He equals money no matter what, just the way he sells and acts on everything. It's just great. You know, and yeah, it was a really good, solid tag match. Got pissed off like a motherfucker at the fact that they had a commercial in the middle of the damn match, which, again, seriously, I have brought this up multiple times before. You do not want to put a commercial in the middle of a match, you know? And this isn't a knock directed towards anyone, so if you get offended by it, one, I'm not sorry. Two, I'm lying about being sorry. And three, sit and spin. Here's the thing. Way people's brains are wired nowadays, including my own, you know, people's attention spans aren't what they used to be. Unless you got somebody who's an actual serious, devoted to watching that show no matter what, they're not going to pay attention. And, you know, for the casual fan that's watching, they're going to click channel surf. Next thing you know, they see that match, they'll sit there. Oh, this is a good match. It's pretty decent. Oh, folks, we'll be right back. We have to take this commercial break. Oh, okay. I wonder what else is on. Click. Now you just lost a viewer. Now you're going to wind up doing that. You're going to wind up shooting yourself in the foot every damn time. You know, I understand you have to have so many commercials in a show, but time out your commercials and time out your segments. You know, because honestly, that's the best way you're going to be able to do this. You know, it's the best way to do it. You know, do a opening segment, cut to a commercial. Come back from come back from that commercial, do a match. After that match, have a segment, then cut to a commercial. Or, have that segment, have person walk down to the ring, then cut to a commercial. Something like that. Just do not cut it off in the middle of the action. That has got to be my biggest, and I keep on emphasizing this, my biggest pet peeve with the damn product today. And I'm not just talking about with WWE. I'm talking about in general with any kind of televised wrestling. And it's annoying, and it's a huge problem. But back to the matter at hand with the match. The match itself, like I said, I liked it. I really did. Really didn't like with Usos. They keep on doing all the super kicks, all the super kicks. Yay! You know what, guys? You still ain't gonna hold. You still can't compare it to the Young Bucks doing a super kick party. That's just the truth. But yeah. The Usos, they wound up getting the 1, 2, 3. They got the win, so now they're the tag champs. They really dropped the ball right there, because they should have right then and there had the Ascension come out right there, go attack the Usos, and that way they come off, make a strong, hard debut, just like the Shield did, just like the Wyatts did. You wind up doing that, and it works. But instead, no. You got Jerry Lawler go in there, say, "Hey, congratulations, guys. How's it feel to be the champs again?" And then the Usos say, "Oh yeah, it's a great year. Oh, this was our year, Jerry. We're gonna have a barbecue now. You can come with." Dude, really? You're gonna invite the cardiac patient to a barbecue? Really? Ugh. Sometimes I seriously question some of the sanity. Next matchup, it was Cesaro versus the returning Bad News Barrett, which, great to see Barrett come back. Also, Cesaro, he cut a really good promo. I'm hoping that was an unscripted shoot that he did right off bat, because he was saying how a lot of people how the bigwigs don't feel he connects with the viewers. He doesn't feel he needs to, because he is one of, if not the best wrestlers in the back. And that is the honest to goodness truth. And, Cesaro, hands down, the most underutilized talent on the WWE roster today. The man is a phenomenal athlete. And yet he is so underutilized, it is not even funny. This man should be main eventing Monday Night Raws, SmackDowns, and pay-per-views. But instead, you got him doing dark matches, pre-shows, and squash matches on a constant, consistent basis. It's just unfucking real. Cesaro, it's honest to goodness, I really hope that the rumors aren't true about his contract being up at some point in January and they're not going to renew it. But if, and I emphasize if, those rumors are, guarantee he's going to wind up making a hell of a lot more money outside of WWE and wind up winning a hell of a lot more gold there than ever could in WWE, because once you make a good name for yourself in there and then you get back on the independent circuit, you're going to wind up being a hot commodity, because every promotion is going to want you and gobble you up, because they're going to say, now they're going to want to emphasize and say, well, we have former WWE superstar such and such. You know, case in point, look on how it worked with Daniel Bryan. Look on how it worked with Chris Hero after he got released. Look at look at everyone that got released during their last clean. Look at their last purge. You know. But yeah, Cesaro and Barrett, really good match. It was what you would expect. It was what you expected. Cesaro wound up squashing again. I was happy to see Barrett come back. Disappointed at the same time. Cesaro lost. Two guys that I really liked, so I really couldn't say on who I wanted to win either match. But yeah, Barrett won, Bullhammer. It was good to see him back, especially seeing as on how I was at the SmackDown when he wound up injuring his shoulder. So that was something, you know. Next matchup, it was Jack Swagger versus Luke Harper, and this was pretty much what you'd expected. Luke Harper's going to win, so here, just by all means, take a look at that picture right there. And yeah, I'm stealing this line from somebody who was putting it out there on Twitter. I'm stealing this line from the Fans Podcast. But, you know, that pretty much summed it up. Luke Harper's going to win. Go ahead, stare at that picture. You know, Swagger, I absolutely love seeing Swagger compete. The kid can perform. Give him the ball. He messed up. You know what? You punished him, okay? You fed him plate after plate of shit for so long. Now, give him the ball and let him run now. Please. Otherwise, stop putting him on TV so much to the point to where he slowly faded out and, you know, not many people are going to be like, hey, what happened to this guy? I don't know. Yeah, as you expect, Harper won. He got in that clothesline and then got the 1, 2, 3. So, next up, Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. Personally, I think this match should have been saved for the Royal Rumble. Because, you know, they could have just had them doing a whole lot of talking until the Rumble for them two to do this. Because, you know, they were able to work a feud with Seth and Dean. And then they were going to start one with Seth and Roman until Roman had to get surgery. But yeah, next thing you know, Big Show was out there doing commentary. I kind of liked on Big Show out there doing commentary because, yeah, the big reason on why I was digging Big Show on commentary was because he was shutting up Michael Cole and JBL and Jerry Lawler, which, you know, at this point in time, I'd be willing to take this Lego guy right here over them. Yeah, it's... A horde of retarded monkeys with Down syndrome would be better commentators than them guys at this point. Yeah. They don't do anything to, you know, to help build the match. They're too busy poking jokes at each other, making random pop culture references, and talking about everything else under the sun. You know what? Cole, Lawler, JBL, I don't care what's the #1 trend out there. I don't care if this guy was in this magazine, or, you know, this, or the app has this many downloads. Put the damn match over. Ugh. But yeah, the match itself, it was pretty decent. I dug it. It was nice. Roman was showing a few more moves than what you normally expect him to see, which was nice. It was good. It was good to see him expand his repertoire some. I absolutely love that. But yeah, now that aside, yeah, everything was pretty okay with the match. Match wound up coming to an end, DQ. Roman was set up, getting ready to go for a spear. Next thing you know, Show grabbed him. Whacked him around, and then literally pushed the table right on top of Roman. So, match was ended in a DQ. Now they're having Seth and Big Show buddying up. And honestly, yeah, Big Show really was not necessary to be out there the whole time. I'm just glad he was there because he shut up Cole, Lawler, and JBL, really. But, he wasn't really honestly needed to be there. He could have come out at some point later and do it. But, yeah, it is what it is. Sorry. Next up, we got Miz and Mizdow in their second match of the night, going against the Ascension. Finally, they debuted. First off, I'm pissed at the crowd, at the DC crowd, for not giving any kind of an ovation for the Ascension. I saw them when I went to Pittsburgh. They got a freaking Road Warriors pop when they came out. And they were going against the Dust Brothers at that time. Yeah, but they got a Road Warriors pop when they came out. And they had a good match. Another thing I was mad at, as far as when I seen the Ascension come out, the face paint, not really needed. Also, the leather padding, what the frig? What the frick kind of shit's that? Seriously. I mean, why not just have them come out like they did in NXT? Smoke machines, have the smoke machines puff out the smoke, have them come out, and then have them just wear their shirts. That's it. That's all you really need. Simple enough. There is the old saying is true. Sometimes less is more. But this was your atypical put someone over match. Victor and Connor basically totally decimated and dominated the match. They wound up hitting total elimination. And I'm showing my age because they say it's Fall of Man. I still stand by the argument of it's total elimination. I grew up seeing Cronus and Saturn. So, yeah, that's just what it is. Yeah. But yeah, Ascension got the win. They really should have had them come out when the Usos won because it would have given them a good hot story and they would have wound up just elevating them all on their own, even if they'd have lost every match they had with the Usos. That's just a straight up fact. Yeah, next up, it was the closing segment of the night. Edge and Christian were they combined both of their talk show segments into one. Edge's Cutting Edge and Christian's Peep Show, together being the Cutting Peep Show or the Cutting Edge Peep Show. But they came out, they had Seth out there. And they were doing their normal Edge and Christian jokes and rambling with them. And then, next thing and Seth was like, "Oh, I respect you guys, You guys did a lot in tag team, and if it wasn't for you guys, I may not even be here today." Which, okay, I give you that. I absolutely loved seeing Edge and Christian in there. Granted, I kind of like the Dudleys more, but again, I grew up in Philadelphia during the original ECW, so I'm kind of biased. But enough about me. Trying to not make it about me on this. Talk about the show. They, next thing saying that, respected them and all. and then brought out his friend, the Big Show. And Big Show was there. Next thing you know, Seth was trying to call out Cena. Was like, and now John Cena. Guys, John Cena. Didn't get it. So eventually, and then Seth just went straight up, full on fucking dark side heel. Not like regular heel, but like full on fucking dark side. Whacked Christian in the face with a briefcase. Big Show grabbed Edge by the throat right here, put his face down right into this briefcase, and Seth had his foot planted right on Edge's neck, called John out. Cena came running out, stopped right at the end of the ramp, and Seth just looks like, oh, whoa, you come any closer, and I swear I will break his neck. Now, you know what I want, John. Now, he was saying he wanted the Authority back. Understand that. Seth, you could have draw that out you could have shortened it out a little bit, because you kind of came off like that guy that was that guy that's like I'll do it, man, I'll really do it. No, you won't. No, I really will. You come off like one of those kind of dudes. Yeah, you kind of did like that, but yeah, he was saying, bring back the Authority or I'm going to break his neck. And, considering what the PG stuff WWE pulls out on a consistent basis, that was pretty fucking dark for them, considering everyone knows on how bad Edge has a neck injury. He takes one wrong shot to the neck, next thing you know, he's stuck as a turnip for the rest of his life. Yeah, and he was saying, bring back the Authority, bring back the Authority. Next thing you know, Cena yelled it like 2 or 3 times, and then Seth just like, whoa, Jamie, go hand him a microphone. I want everyone to hear this. And then he said, I'm bringing back the Authority. They can come back. And then Seth just, good. Now, you should know me better than that, John. I'm going to break his neck anyway. And that's what sold me on the segment. So, Seth, that was your forgiving point. That was your saving grace right there. That line right there. That line right there is what saved it. But just as Seth got a running start to go do the curb stomp, Cena came in, nailed him, and then they all started swinging at each other. They all wound up reigning supreme. They got up to the entrance ramp. Next thing you know, boom! Behold the king of kings. And then out comes Hunter and Steph, and the Authority is back. Now, also, want to talk about one thing, big thing. It's a promo. Like I've said before multiple times, I don't normally talk about promos unless they carry something significant in regards to the show. This was big time. So, Daniel Bryan put out there on Twitter earlier in the day saying he's at a crossroads and he's come to a big major decision. So he came out to the ring, and everyone, and I mean everyone all day, has been sitting, speculating, chewing their nails like crazy, like, don't tell me he's going to retire, don't tell me he's going to retire. And, the second you hear anyone has a neck injury, that's always the worst case scenario. That's always the first thought of, oh shit, don't tell me he has to retire now. And, damn, I really did bite part of my nail off doing that whole nail biting bit right there. Fuck. But, yeah, he's talking about on how, 2014 was a hell of a year for him. And legitimately, it really was for him. He got built and made into a star. you know? Yeah, he really did. He wound up taking out, and he even said he took out Hunter, Randy, and Batista all in one night at WrestleMania and main evented it. Then he said 5 days later, he wound up getting married to his girl, which, hey, you marry whoever you want, Danny. I ain't gonna knock you on that. She ain't my cup of tea. Honey, I know you're watching this show. But yeah, next year he was saying on how a few days after that, his dad died. He wasn't there because he was busy wrestling, and that's kind of a sad thing. That's kind of a sad note to hear. And then he wound up getting his neck injury, and things wound up hitting him, and but he wound up saying he came to a crossroads. He can either retire or fight and come back. Thank God he chose the latter, and he said he's fighting and coming back, and he's going to be at the Rumble. So now it just leaves the speculation. What is it? Who's going to win now? Reigns or Bryan? So the smart money is on Roman Reigns. Heart's betting on Ding O'Brien, though. I'm also thinking it's a possibility they both wind up doing a double elimination at the same time at the end of the Rumble, which then leads to the main event at their pay-per-view after that, Fastlane, where the winner of that match winds up getting a shot at the title at Mania. That's more than likely the possibility. But yeah, that's the entire show. All in all, this was a really good show, and this was the last straw for 2014. Absolutely loved it. No, I came off pissed off on a lot of the stuff. Granted, I was pissed on a lot of stuff, but that did not mean that I was not satisfied and happy with the product that I was given this night. So, I was fully happy. So, folks, like all normal, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch all the other episodes. Look for me on Twitter at Tim Vicious. Make sure y'all look for my backup account, Tim_Vicious. I get put in Twitter, well, I haven't been put in Twitter jail in a good while, but I got the backup account because I do get put in Twitter jail every now and again. Also, make sure y'all check out all of these cool-ass cats right here on Twitter. Vicky Earls, make sure y'all check out Vicky's YouTube channel. I am Danny Sunday, Monkey Moss, Axel Mulligan. Make sure y'all check out Axel's show, Axel's Analysis. Sunday Segway, Sinfully Sabrina, Cranky Grandpa, Legion Lady Aaron, Alva Ben, Just a Stupid Mark. Make sure y'all check out Ollie Ben's M Mask Mark's Paint and Mask Connection show, as well as their past TNA turnaround shows, and as well my client, who, as I have said multiple times before, is the true Raw general manager. We just allow one to appear on TV so that way you can have a nice pretty face to look at. My client, she has not been feeling well during these past few weeks due to the consistent harassment by one Nick Meltzer McGee, in which case, again, Nick, this is your very last and final warning. You do not harass me, my clients, or anyone else I associate with. I guarantee you, son, you do. You're gonna regret it. And folks, like I always tell y'all, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck yous.